Today we've got a great fixture or tool for those of you that love these things, for people that do a lot of AR trigger work, or for those of you that just love fixtures and tools, for those of you that may only have one AR trigger to do. But this is called the hammer block and trigger jig for ARs, and it's from the folks at Brownell's. And basically what you have here is you have a jig plate here which fits on the side of the AR receiver once you've taken the safety out and taken the trigger parts out. This goes on the side of the receiver, and it's held by these two long pins and screwed on there. And then the pins themselves are used to locate the sear and the hammer parts. And then once those are on there and you're able to see how your sear and trigger are in relationship to each other, and make sure that you've got them filed correctly or stoned correctly for the proper pull and everything that you're happy about, you can try the trigger pull with this hammer drop block. And you'll notice that that has a projection on it right there. The whole block is made of Delrin, or one of those space age plastics, but when you've got your hammer and trigger assembled out here on the springs and you're trying your trigger pull, when you pull that trigger, the hammer just smacks against the plastic, so you don't get any damage anywhere on the gun or those expensive parts that you've worked on. So a really good idea. I thought it was such a good idea that since I work on AR-10s, I'd like to do the same thing. Well, the plate itself will work because the fire control parts for an AR-10 are the same as on an AR-15, but what won't work is the mag block, because the AR-10, you've got a mag well that's got to take 308 and not 223. Excuse me, or 765 instead of 5.56. So what I did was I took a magwell vice block, which is available from the folks at Sinclair, and this goes through the bottom of the magazine, and then you clamp the lower receiver into a vise so you can work on it. Well, what I did then was create a top piece for that, which basically mirrored the piece which is, on the Brownell's part here, except for the fact that, of course, that it has to be considerably bigger and it has to be able to screw on, since this comes in from the bottom, and then this has to screw onto the top once you've got it in the mag well. And then, of course, the AR-10s are wider, so the bolt stop is farther out here. So rather than just a slot like we have here on the AR-15 piece, we had to mill a piece. So anyway, that made me happy. I've now got a new fixture. I've got a fixture that does two things. It's both a block that lets me work on the lower receiver, and it's a hammer block that lets me play with triggers. So I'm happy. I got to spend some time. I got to make another tool. Life is good. We'll be right back. Okay, you can see how we've assembled this on the frame here with the plastic wing nuts on the one side and the trigger block or trigger mounting plate over here, and we've used the rubber washers to keep the screws or keep the pins and the mounting plate separate. So normally, of course, we'd have had our springs and our trigger parts and so on and so forth on here, and that would be taking care of that. But with these on here, that locates it so nothing flops around. Okay, and then the firing block drops in like so, and it blocks the hammer. And if you want to hang on just a second, we'll come right back. I have a modular unit I'll put on just to show you where it strikes, okay? Be right back. All right, as I said, just to show you how this works, we've gone ahead and bolted on one of Chip McCormick's modular units here, which is probably not the greatest choice in the world, but at least it'll show you how it works. If we go ahead and drop the hammer block in here and press the mag catch and drop it down, you see now if you've been working on your hammer and your sear engagement and now you're ready to dry fire, you just pull the trigger up here in the block, boom, and it drops against the block, so you're not hurting anything. So you can dry fire here to your heart's content. You can feel it, make sure it's working the way you want it, and do all of that stuff, and nothing's going to hit anything and nothing's going to ding anything, and you're not going to break your aluminum parts out. So terrific idea here, and again, another unit from Brownell's, and I think you'll like it.